Welcome to Integrity Inspire, your daily dose of inspiration and motivation, featuring the bright and talented members of the Integrity Marketing Group family. Now, here's your host, Integrity co-founder and CEO, Bryan W. Adams.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Inspire Podcast. It's so fun to be back with you today. And we're going to do something a little different today. We won't be having any guests. We won't be introducing any new partners. Instead, in the spirit of Thanksgiving, I really wanted to spend just a few moments to reflect on some of the things I'm thankful for and a little bit about this past year and all the incredible things that I think we all have to be grateful for. So today, I want to just talk a little bit about, I think, something that's just fundamental to everyone's happiness. And it's really gratefulness, and it's this gratitude that I found that in my own life that the more I'm thankful for others and the more grateful I am for others, the more happy and content I am as well. And so as you kind of go into this next week and you start thinking about, it's interesting to me. Thanksgiving is one of my favorite times of the year. I love the fact that there's the changing of the seasons. There's these fall leaves. At least here in Texas, parts of the country you're getting fall snow, but you get these changing of the season. And for some reason, I feel like if you go into any Walmart or Lowe's or any store these days, you go from Halloween and they jump on October 31st to directly to Christmas, right? And even in my own neighborhood, we had literally people on the day after Halloween putting up their Christmas lights. And so it's one of those things is for us, I know for Robin and I, we've decided not to turn on Christmas lights, not to get into the holiday spirit until after you really celebrate Thanksgiving, just because of I think, how important of a time that this season is for all Americans, I believe. Really a moment to just set back and reflect, take a deep breath and reflect on just what you have to be thankful for. And I think that that's something that in this fast-paced world that we're all living in, sometimes we can forget. And so this year, as we're thinking about this, I think we've got a lot to be thankful for. But I think it's also important to kind of look back on really the origins of how Thanksgiving came to be. And so most of you are familiar with the Pilgrim story, where the Pilgrims landed in the Mayflower on Plymouth Rock. And, you know, what you hear about was a lot of that Thanksgiving feast when the Native Americans came together with the Pilgrims to celebrate and be thankful for all of God had given them, especially in the successful harvest. That was purportedly in 1621. What happened is the Pilgrims landed in 1620. And if you read some of the accounts, it was a devastating time for them. In fact, they couldn't really get off the ship for the first winter because it was so cold and so miserable. And about half of the Pilgrims died during that time, and then they were able to meet these Native Americans who helped supply them with things to really help them save their life, frankly. And they became friends and acquaintances with these Native Americans. One in particular named Squanto. And Squanto, if you read about Squanto, it's a fascinating story. Squanto was a former slave who had gotten transported by an English slave owner and went to Europe, learned English, and by the grace of God, he was one of the ones that met the Pilgrims and was able to translate for them and actually help talk to them, to help teach them as they got off the ship, and were able to help them really learn about how to survive in this new inhospitable environment. So if you think about just this example of these people from a far-off land, the lands in this new world called America. They meet these people who are very different from them in the way they look, and their color, and their beliefs, and their faith, their language. They were different from them in a lot of different ways, and yet they were able to come together and check those differences aside and help each other, really in a way that is just a beautiful picture, right? So Squanto and the rest of the Native Americans were able to help them learn how to plant corn, help them have a bountiful harvest, and then they spent 3 days celebrating their coming together and really supporting each other. And I think throughout our country's history, Americans have gathered for days of Thanksgiving, which we often find filled with prayer and sharing of gratitude for the bounty of our nation and what we have been blessed with. But it wasn't until Abraham Lincoln was the first president to officially institute Thanksgiving as a formal holiday in America during the middle of the Civil War. So just think about the time that this was. That it was a time of division and civil unrest, of fear, of strife, of war, of sadness, all in America. And Lincoln brilliantly decided to combat that division by bringing Americans together in gratitude by declaring Thanksgiving Day a national holiday in October of 1863. And in his official proclamation, Lincoln said, "I do therefore invite my fellow citizens in every part of the United States to set apart and observe the last Thursday of November next as a day of thanksgiving and praise, and fervently implore the interposition of the Almighty hand to heal the wounds of this nation and to restore it as soon as it may be consistent with the divine purposes to the full enjoyment of peace, harmony, tranquility, and union. Well, today I think, especially as I'm thinking about this Thanksgiving time, I believe that we're really experiencing some of the same division in our country, some of that same fear, division, political unrest, concern, animosity throughout this time, as we were not nearly as dramatically, thank God, but some of the same kind of feelings as they were with Lincoln. And while these two times in America are very different, the cure for this division, I think, can be the same. And this week, that's focusing on what we all have to be grateful for instead of focusing on our divisions. And so, really for me, I just think it's interesting to just think back about the first Thanksgiving that they say happened on 1621, where these two people that were completely opposite, completely different, had to be afraid of each other, were able to come together and work together for a common good, and then celebrate together and be grateful together. And then in one of America's darkest hours, the President Lincoln was able to say, let's set aside those differences and think about how we can be thankful together. And so today I really want to share just a little bit about what I'm thankful for. And hopefully, I hope this inspires you to do the same with your loved ones, and maybe even your not-so-loved ones. I think it's important as we go through this week, and this is one of the things that Robin and I do during Thanksgiving, is we sit down around the family table, and then we just go around and talk about what you're thankful for this year. We've done that for every year that we've been married, but this year I think it's going to be a little bit more important, just because of all the things that are going on in the world today. And so I just wanted to share personally some of the things I'm grateful for. Personally, I'm grateful for my wife, Robin. She's one of the most supportive people that you could ever meet. She puts up with me, and especially my energy to keep running, and my willingness to go travel and do some of the things that we've been doing. and especially in building a business, there's times that I am just always on the phone, always available for other meetings. And she gives me a lot of grace in that time. And she does so much to really raise our family, provide for our needs, to make sure that we're taken care of. I'm also very thankful for my two sons, Asher and Shiloh. They're a gift from God that just brings so much joy to our life. I'm also thankful for my parents and my in-laws, and I pray that they stay healthy at this time. But I also pray that as especially as they get older, that we have time with them to really continue to learn and continue to just get to know each other, and to really take their legacy and continue to hand that down throughout the generations. One of the things that Robin instituted at our house is something called the Thankful Tree. And so it's a little tree. It's nothing really special, but there's these little. She cut out these little leaves out of paper, and every night we sit around the kitchen table. And now it's just a tradition that my boys look so forward to, that every night each one of us write down something that we're thankful for. And it's been amazing to watch how much we reflect and just talk about gratitude, and put a new leaf on that thankful tree. And as you look at it today, it's full of leaves. And some of the things that we've mentioned is not only family, but I'm also grateful for our friends, both inside and outside the industry. I've got some of the best friends in the world, and many of my closest friends are part of Integrity or on this call right now. And I think I'm a super lucky guy to be able to get to work with some of my closest friends each and every day. And so I'm really thankful for that. I'm grateful for our entire Integrity family. I'm incredibly grateful for all of our employee owners. These are owners of our company. They're also employees that serve our agents and agencies every day with just incredible service, and I love that. I think we've got the best agents and agencies in the country that we get to partner with, and certainly the best carriers. And so I'm grateful for that every day. In fact, every day I pray for every one of our employees and every one of our agents and agencies and carrier partners that we get the chance to work with, because I believe that that's a true gift from God. I'm also grateful for this year for how we persevered through some very, very difficult times, not only as a country, but just as a business as well. I'm thankful for the common grace of technology, so that we were able to work remote in such a quick time turnaround and be able to spend time with our families. That was a gift for us to be able to spend more time with our families. Some of us may not have seen it as a gift at the time, but it's very rare that you get to spend that much time at home with families. And I'm thankful that common grace of technology we were able to do that. I'm thankful for these Inspire podcasts, for bringing us all together. It was I think I'll always look back on the COVID lockdown period, and one of the things I fondly remember the most is hearing each one of our stories, not only the partner stories, but the Integrity Idol contestant stories, and just being able to share hope in such a dark time. I'm incredibly grateful for all the game time fun that we're having today. This game time has exceeded every expectation I've ever had. And it's just fun to be able to work together, celebrate together. I've been actually in several offices over the last few weeks, and getting to see all the game time swag and all the game time experience stuff, and some of the fun huddles and some of the videos has just been a lot of fun. I think part of being thankful is enjoying your time together. I'm also thankful for the record year that we're having despite all that's been going on in the world today. It is remarkable the way that we've been able to rally together and have just a truly record year. And so I'm thankful for that. And I'm thankful that we all get to work at a company like Integrity, and in an industry like we get to work with, that we get to help people every day in an industry that has also prospered through such a dark time. And there's a lot of businesses and a lot of industries that have not fared so well. And I know that we are truly, truly fortunate. And then I'm also thankful for this great country that we get to live in. The freedom that we get to enjoy is pretty remarkable. And for especially the men and women who sacrifice for our freedom, those men and women who aren't getting to spend time with their families this Thanksgiving week, but are having to serve abroad to make sure that we have the opportunity and the liberty to be able to serve or to be with our families this Thanksgiving week. I don't think we could ever be grateful enough for the men and women who have served this great country, both in the past and certainly in the present and certainly in the future as well. In the Bible, it says to give thanks in all things. We've had a tough year. This country's had a tough year. The world has had a tough year. We have gone through a lot of different ups and downs just in society. But in giving thanks in all things truly means to give thanks in all things. And so I think as we get a chance to reflect, and I encourage you that as you get to spend time with your families, take time. Turn off your cell phone. I'm going to try to turn off mine. Spend time with your families. Really enjoy this moment that we've been given. And I encourage you, as you sit around your Thanksgiving table, while it may be awkward, maybe some of your family members that you're not quite as fond of, I know that there's a lot of different things that happen in different families. I encourage you just to take a moment like we're going to take and go around the table and ask everyone to share what they're thankful for. And like the thankful tree that Robin has set up in our house, and being able to write out every night something or someone that you're thankful for, when you focus on what you're grateful for and you focus on your gratitude, it makes things so much easier to endure when you're having to go through troubles and challenges. So I pray that during this time, we can all hearken back to the days of the first Thanksgiving, and certainly when Abraham Lincoln declared Thanksgiving Day a national holiday. Our country has gone through a lot. The people have gone through a lot. There's civil unrest. There's other challenges that are going on. But taking the lead from almost 400 years ago, exactly 400 years ago actually, to also a couple of hundred years ago with Abraham Lincoln, now we have the opportunity to set our differences aside, focus on what we're grateful for, what we're thankful for. And I believe that is a way that we can really focus on how do we heal this nation and continue to fulfill the promises that we have been blessed with. And the thing about gratitude, once that I'm reflecting on it, it always inspires me to give back in some way. And one of the things I've been so grateful for this past year is the opportunity that Integrity has had to give back to the many communities around the country. It has been a hard year for a lot of people, and we've been incredibly blessed here at Integrity that we are continuing thriving throughout this difficult time. And a few of my favorite moments, again, were back on the Integrity Idol when we came together, learned people's story, and one of the things I loved was how people stepped up and gave during that time. We were able to donate almost $100,000 to charities that were meaningful to some of our Integrity employees who participated in that event. It was something that I think boosted our spirits and really began at the beginning of this pandemic, and it was really humbling to see how we were able to come together and others match those donations. And we distributed those checks and were able to really bless those charities in a huge way. And so one of the things that we're going to be doing coming up here is our next Game Time activity is an activity challenge called the Time Out for Charity. So if you weren't able to participate in the Integrity Idol, there's still times to find to give back with your colleagues this year. And so in the spirit of giving back, we're having this time out for charity, that we're going to be looking for ways that we can give back to others, because I think that is a huge part of gratitude, is focusing on others' needs and not only on your own. In closing, I hope that we're all able to spend time with families. And I know with the global pandemic, some people aren't going to be able to see their families, and it'll be tough during this time. But I hope that you have a chance, as we plan on doing, to sit back and reflect on all the things that we have to be grateful for and thankful for this year, and really look for ways for us to also give back and help others that are in need. So I want to say thank you to each one of our partners and employees here on the call, to just say thank you for all that you do to make Integrity such a special place. I'm so thankful for all of you. I'm blessed to be part of this incredible team. And this Thanksgiving, this will be one of the things that as we go around our Thanksgiving table with all my family, one of the things that I will say is that I'm thankful for all of you at Integrity, for just the blessing that you all are to me personally. So thank you guys, and I hope you all have a beautiful, wonderful Thanksgiving. Thanks again for everything you do. God bless you all. Have a wonderful week, and can't wait to talk to you next time. God bless you guys.